financial problems, elder law, criminal law, tax problems, business matters, divorce, personal injury, bankruptcy, your life, your reality. Life is complicated. There is the law and there is reality. Welcome to Law and Reality, sponsored by THAV GROSS. Now here's your host, Ken Gross.
Welcome to this segment of Law and Reality. Today's topic is eliminating debt and taxes with Chapter 7. And to say good morning to the Chapter 7 guru at THAV GROSS, Brian Small.
Good morning, Ken. It does appear to be a topic that I'm mildly familiar with today.
And eliminating taxes, the tax guru at THAV GROSS, Jeffrey Linden.
Good morning, Ken.
And our elder law expert and financial planning expert, Pat Simasko. What's new with you, Pat?
Just getting through the year, starting out, looking for a good year next year.
Anything new in the Roth IRA range and Medicaid planning?
I tell you, right now we have some, inflation is going through the roof. Interest rates are going to have to start going up. Tax brackets, I think, are going to really have to be changed to start paying for all of these plans that we've had and bailouts and buyouts and all that type of stuff. So I'm really going to be looking hard at the IRAs. And we're always preaching to our clients, there's not one person that wants to pay tax, but it's not the tax that has to be paid, it's always the tax brackets. Dad never wants to pay tax even if it's a 10% bracket, but if he dies and the kids inherit the IRAs and they're at a 30% bracket, gee, you gotta do that.
Pay it when you can pay it at the lowest rate.
Yeah, so a Roth conversion is you pay the tax now so you don't have to pay the tax later. With us in the elder law world, we have to throw one more concept in, is what's the difference if you have this big IRA and you go to the nursing home and give it all to the nursing home? Doesn't matter. The kids aren't getting anything. So our philosophy is pay the tax now so the nursing home doesn't get it, so the kids don't have to pay the tax later.
You pay the tax now and then you can move the money out so you can keep it outside of the nursing home?
Yeah, Medicaid's really getting really pushing hard on a lot of the plans that we've been implementing, fly-specking them, challenging them, making it harder. And the reason being is 10,000 people a day are turning 65, right?
Not me.
No, you're way older than, you're at least 60, yeah.
That
but anyway,
that ship has sailed,
yeah,
baby.
that's in the rear. Yeah, but when we started, you were probably only 45, so that was about 2 weeks ago we started.
Well, I crossed the road during the show for sure, 65, and well, my wife has not crossed the road for 65, but she's now Medicare eligible because she's within 3 months.
Yeah. So the
In
idea,
fact, she got her Medicare card, and I laminated it for her, and I said, Bonnie, put this in your wallet with your insurance card. And then I went to look at it yesterday because we were enrolling in Medigap plans, and I said, I don't see your Medicare card. She says, it's on the counter where you left it. So I said, oh, does that mean it doesn't go into your wallet until you turn 65? And she says, yes, that's what that means.
that's absolutely.
That's funny.
So what does somebody who wants to learn about this process do? Just call you, come in?
Yeah, the key is just coming in and talking, and the way I explain it, and everybody that comes in and sees me, that comes in and sees Brian or you or Jeff, everybody has a lawyer. Everybody has a financial advisor, and they've been using them for years, which is fantastic. We want them to. Just like you have a family doctor. But you got cancer, you're going to the cancer specialist. We have to look at ourselves as the cancer specialist. So if you say, oh, I have a will from, I'm set because I did the will in 1974 when I went down to Walt Disney World.
Right.
Great. But is that really, just like you have a phone back in 1970?
Where did you stay at Walt Disney World?
Oh, the first time I stayed was when my dad brought us down in the mobile home camper, right? Because we got free oranges. But anyway, long story short.
Where do you get those wills? At Downtown Disney?
The idea is to talk to someone that knows what they're doing, because it's a toolbox. You're buying a toolbox. hammer, screwdriver, wrench, you better have the toolbox that fits your needs. So
because you're dealing with the issue of mom or dad needs to go in the nursing home, and you don't want to take your life savings and have it be expended at the rate of $10,000 to $12,000 a month, and then it's exhausted. And the mom who doesn't go in the nursing home because dad's there doesn't have any money to pay her bills.
And a reminder with regard to everybody that's watching, the most important document that you better have is that power of attorney that has the ability to do Medicaid planning and give gifts and do all that stuff. And if you don't have it because you have the one that the UAW Legal Services did for you in 1987, it's no good anymore. It doesn't do what you need it to do.
Which is the exact same one if they did in 2017 or through 2000. It's the exact same document.
Yeah, the same forms they've been printing out
Well,
forever.
they updated the footer on it. It now says 2022.
Well, it's not even the UAW. Most power of attorneys this is the way I look. I trust Brian. He's my son. Implicitly give him every authority under the book to do whatever needs to be done. But when
Vegas,
you look at
here I come.
Well, if that's the case, but when's the last time the good son went off to Vegas? Never happens.
No.
And this is what one of your other lawyers that work here, if you have a heroin addict son, it's probably a bad kid. Don't pick him to be as your power of attorney. You could be the medical power of attorney, but not the finance. But anyway, you have to look at in the planning for it. You just have to plan, but you have to go to the guy that has some experience in what your biggest concern is. Because they walk out with these big, beautiful books from the dinner seminar, right? Oh, I'm all set. Well, yeah, you're all set to avoid probate, but is that protected if you're in the nursing home? No. The guy never even talked about that. Why? Because he doesn't do it.
I'm always suspect when I get invited to something that wants to feed me.
Listen, I do a lot of those dinner seminars.
Do you?
I do a ton of them. And
what food do you serve?
Well, right now the best, I just go do it at universities now, and I bring them there because all it is just work. Let's get the job done. But we did cookies, and that lady will come up, and at the end of the day, she'll take every cookie left over and put it right in her.
We've always had cookies. At the seminars. I'm looking forward. Maybe in 2022 we get back to actually having live seminars in the office again.
Dinners.
It's been 2 years since we've had a live seminar in the office.
Right. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about Chapter 7, eliminating debt with...
No, it's better to talk about my stuff.
Well, I think
we're coming up to a break,
so I think we'll do it the next segment.
We'll give you the last word on your stuff. Go ahead. Call you?
586-468-6793.
We'll be back after the break.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP. Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Will I outlive my money?
Medicaid is so confusing.
A will, or do I need a trust?
What if mom needs to go in a nursing home?
At Samasco Law, we have the answers to all of these questions. Our attorneys will eliminate the confusion and develop a plan that's right for you. We are dedicated to veterans benefits, assisted living, and nursing home care. Samasco Law can help prepare you for a long future. Call Samasco Law today.
You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirschner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV GROSS specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
All right, so we're back. And we've heard from Pat. Now let's hear from Brian and Jeff a little bit on Back to Basics. First of all, Chapter 7. Brian, what are the basics? And don't go into like Mr. Motor mode. Give me just what are the basics?
Chapter 7 is debt elimination bankruptcy. You wipe out your debts. You get a fresh start. You keep most, if not all, the assets that you own, and you get rid of the debt that you owe.
All right, let me pop you some quick questions. I've got IRAs and 401ks. Can I keep those?
Yes. They are protected assets.
What about equity in my house?
You can most equity in your home can be protected. If you're a married couple and you have no joint debt, we can protect $1 million, all of it. And you
all
can,
right.
If otherwise, we can protect.
I'm a married couple.
$50,000 worth of equity for a married couple,
and I'm a single guy.
Anywhere from $25,000 to $40,000 equity, unless you're over 65, in which case we can protect $60,000 for a single guy or $120,000 equity for a married couple. What it is everybody fits into a different slot, and most likely you can protect the equity in your home, keep everything you own, and get rid of your debt.
So it means you have to get what is it? It's something solution for individualized solution
for the individual.
The problem is individual to the individual, and the solution is individual to the individual.
That was the saying of 2021.
What's the
we
new
need
one?
a new mantra
We got
for
to do a new one.
I'll come up with one. Give me a week.
What about my car? Can I keep my car if I have a car payment?
Yes.
What if I told you it was an $800 car payment on a Maserati?
So the reality is that what are we trying to do? Eliminate debt and get you a fresh start. That's part of the mistake that you've got going on. So we're going to get rid of an overpriced vehicle that you don't need and get you into something that's more affordable.
You're suggesting I don't need the Maserati?
Yes.
Yeah,
No,
I've seen you drive and
yes.
I've seen the dents in your car. No, you shouldn't have a Maserati.
You can call the new car a Maserati if you want to.
Yeah. Maserati.
Take the
Right now I
license
call it
plate
a
off.
Maserati because of the payment.
Well, can he get a new loan though if he gets rid of the old loan?
So after the Chapter 7, are you able to go out and finance a new car? The answer is yes, because you are now a good risk. Basically, if you're bringing home $150 a week after your Chapter 7, you are eligible, and there are lenders out there that will lend you money to buy a car.
Or reasonably priced, affordable.
What about taxes?
Income taxes?
If I owe income taxes, yeah.
Income taxes can be discharged if they meet an aging requirement. They have to be due more than 3 years ago. You have to have filed your tax returns at least 2 years ago. And the last time you were assessed, the tax has to be at least 8 months or 240 days old. If you meet that, those taxes can be discharged in bankruptcy.
What about other taxes? Payroll taxes?
Payroll taxes cannot be discharged in bankruptcy.
What are payroll taxes?
Payroll taxes is the withholding taxes that if you own a company and you employ people and you haven't paid the withholding part over to the government, you haven't paid the Social Security, the Medicare, and the federal income taxes over to the government because for whatever reason, if you're liable for those taxes, those are not dischargeable in bankruptcy.
When the boss wants to live the lifestyle that he's grown accustomed to without the income coming in.
Well, I mean, we see it all the time because we help those bosses out when they have that problem. What happens is the company's not making enough money to pay all of its bills, so they stop paying the payroll taxes in order to meet payroll and everything else, and that liability accumulates very rapidly and very fast, and it has horrendously high penalties for not paying it, and it is assessed against the owners individually and non-dischargeable in bankruptcy.
What if they die? Does that go with them when they die?
It goes with your estate.
It goes with your estate. So if you have
that's
your
where
estate,
a time where
the
there's
estate is liable for those taxes.
Yeah.
So if you have a situation like that, it's important to try, like in any creditor situation, you have to try and take that client and put them in a position where those assets are not reachable by their creditors. Sometimes the creditor happens to be your Uncle Sam.
Right.
So one of the things we were talking.
Sometimes it's your Uncle Phil also, but you'd rather see get
but
paid.
you can't pay Uncle Phil because that's an avoidable preference, right?
So you got to be careful about the way in which you structure those things.
You didn't. I took that class in law school 30 years. That's
One
the
thing-
only phrase I remember.
One thing you got to be careful though is that if you don't file your returns, the government can do what's called an SFR, a substitute for return. If the government files your return for you, because remember, they know what you make if you're a W-2 employer, you get 1099s. They just don't know what you spend for your deductions. They'll file that return for you, and if that happens in that year, you cannot discharge that debt.
Wait, but Brian is the guru of bankruptcy. Don't you have some connections to say that you can make a phone call, and if they did an SFR on your client's return, you could get that reversed so you can still file bankruptcy? You're the man.
So
can you do that?
No, you cannot eliminate. But there is a solution.
So disappointing.
There is a potential solution to dealing with an SFR, which is, one, you file your tax return regardless. Because if your liability on the SFR and your liability on the tax return is different, at least it will lower your liability because they will honor the tax return for the liability purpose. They won't honor it for
so at least you get it. So sometimes that could be because you get no deductions when they do the SFR.
On the flip side, you can also, if you still have the right to take it to tax court, a tax court adjudication of liability is deemed to be a tax return, which makes it dischargeable potentially in bankruptcy.
Let me introduce you a case
Wait,
study.
let me just, on that topic. Everyone hears the IRS, how horrible, how mean, how... My good family member started working. They want the IRS agents to be nice to people. They want them to work with the people. They're encouraging them to be the nice... should people be so afraid of the actual IRS?
When you compare the IRS to the state of Michigan Tax Authority, IRS is nice.
Or the credit card people?
Yes.
Yeah, they're nice.
IRS, we always say to people, there are procedures that when you know to follow them, that you can resolve federal tax problems in a organized way. But if you don't follow the procedures and you get outside of that environment and you're in collection, you can still have very harsh results. They will levy your wages automatically. You're not dealing with a collection officer, and then you have to reverse it. So are they civilized? Yes. Are there procedures to protect you? Yes, but you have to hire someone who knows those procedures.
Don't bury your head in the
otherwise
sand.
you can get burned.
Right.
All right, let's take a break. We come back, we're going to talk about Greg and Cassie.
Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP.
You're all set to retire. You have your home paid off, money in the bank, and sound investments. But if you're not careful, all the things that you work so hard for can disappear. At Samasco Financial, we'll help you prevent that. We go beyond ordinary asset management. We'll safeguard everything that you have by creating a plan made specifically for you. How much can you afford to lose? Nothing. Protect the people that you love and the things that you have. Call Samasco Financial today.
If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV GROSS specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem. Time for announcements. I want to remind our viewers to listen to us for Law and Reality Live on the Praise Network, Tuesdays 10 o'clock a.m., Saturdays 7 o'clock a.m., and on KISS 105.9, Sundays 7 o'clock a.m. Remember, you can always come in for a free consultation via teleconference, in office. You know, we're COVID smart, but we can do it in the office, or we can do it through Zoom or on the telephone, whatever makes you most comfortable. Just call 888-235-HELP or go online and sign up. We cover debt issues, tax issues, estate planning issues, business issues, elder law issues with Pat, disability issues with Jeff. Again, just sign up at lawandreality.com or call 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Also, go online for our free reports, Resolving Tax Problems, The Real Solutions by Ken Gross and Jeff Linden, Bankruptcy, Is It Right for Me by Brian Small, How to Save Your Home from Foreclosure, Business Formations, Loans and Grants for Small Businesses in Detroit and Michigan, and The Retiree's Guide to Social Security from Pat Samasco. I want to thank our sponsors, THAV GROSS, Samasco Law, and Kirshner Law. Now back to the show.
You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirshner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
All right, so Greg and Cassie.
Cassie, oh, I love Cassie. Cassie.
You know Cassie?
Cassie was one of my favorite clients. She was such a beautiful topless dancer, and as a young lawyer, I met her, and she came in because her boyfriend, who became her husband, inherited $750,000 from his grandpa. And here's $750,000. Within 2 years, he was dead of heroin overdosing, and she was in jail, and they lost their child because he died.
But you have fond memories of Cassie.
She was awesome, but what happened is the money did it. If Grandpa would have left it in an estate plan, a trust agreement says, hey, we're going to pay this to you over your whole lifetime, they would still be alive today.
Wow. Good story. All right, let's talk about our Greg and Cassie. They're in their early 40s.
Tell it again, bro.
Two teenage children, Ben and Wendy. Greg's in insurance sales. He's self-employed. He makes anywhere from $50,000 to $75,000 a year. Bad year in 2021. He only made $40,000. You know, it depends on how things are going. He's supposed to pay his taxes in quarterly. Cassie, she's a manager at a restaurant chain. She's very tired because managers in restaurant chains have been working ungodly hours throughout the COVID times. She makes $30,000 a year, W-2. They have a house, $200,000, mortgage $175,000, furnishings, $5,000. Cassie has an IRA for $8,500. They got $80,000 of credit card debt. They owe taxes for 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19, $7,000, then $5,000 each of the other years. They got medical bills of $15,000. Their monthly budget, they got $4,900 coming in. Mortgage payment $1,900. The credit cards are killing them at $2,000 a month. Utilities $500. Cell phone $275. 2 cars leased $800. Gas, auto, and insurance $600. Food $1,500. Miscellaneous. Bottom line, they're $3,000 shy every month.
Bottom line, opportunity. Here's what happens. They need to file a Chapter 7 right now.
Will they qualify?
Greg has had a downturn in his income for that year, and he can take advantage of the opportunity presented to him to get rid of all of that credit card debt, most of the income tax debt. Remember,
let me ask you a quick question though. Greg's income's down now $40,000. If he waits and now his income in September is showing he's going to make $150,000 for the year, where does that leave him?
Well, it all depends on the big picture. Says what's he doing right now. If he waits, he may not qualify for Chapter 7. But if you look at the 6 months of income from the previous 6 months and projecting forward based on right now, he's not making more than $40,000 or $45,000 again. So take advantage of it. File the Chapter 7. Eliminate all the credit card debt. And as you pointed out, they had taxes owed from 15 through 19. So 18 today, at the beginning of 2022, is still not dischargeable. If we can wait until April 16th of 2022, 18 goes away, leaving him with 2019's taxes only. So all of that
that's
debt,
only $5,000.
Right, all of that debt goes away with the Chapter 7. He keeps the house. They keep the IRA. They keep the cars. They get rid of the debt. They get a fresh start. And Jeff's going to put them on a simple payment agreement over 72 months on that $5,000 tax.
For $5,000, you don't really need to go over 72 months. Pay it off at $100 a month gets it paid off in 50 months.
But they could still do it if they wanted to over 72.
So it's nominal. So yeah. So at the end of the day, where do they end up, Brian?
They end up with a positive budget, no debt. Their credit score starts to heal and comes back, and they look back at this event and they say, it was a bad 2020, but we got out from under, we got a fresh start, and they look forward. They have the ability to pay for their kids.
At least Cassie doesn't have to go back working at the topless bar.
There you go.
Look how simple it is really for them in this particular circumstance. They get rid of $80,000 of credit card debt, and they get rid of $22,000 of taxes in a 3.5 month period to do the bankruptcy.
Yeah, and
it's gone. They don't have to pay a penny of that back.
And don't forget, this is what the beauty of this is.
She keeps her IRA?
She keeps her IRA, keeps the assets. The thing is that at the end of the day, this is a normal situation that walks through the door here. This is everybody that needs a Chapter 7, and they all get a fresh start.
That's the game plan. Chapter 7 works in the right circumstance. It can be magic. It's the cheapest, quickest way to eliminate debt. Have a great week. We'll be back next week with Law and Reality.